What's going on, everybody? I'm live. All right. So, as you can see, I got my green screen behind me. And yes, it still has the creases in the green screen. It's always been that way for the last 4 years that it's been behind me. Some of you might ask, well, what's the green screen for? Again, like I told you, I do some filming and cinematography. But, guys, how are you guys doing tonight? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing good. I decided to go live and do this update for you guys. I don't know. I mean, I figured might as well, right? Because a lot of times I do these in pretty much one take, anyways. So, guys, again, welcome to day 23 of my carnivore journey. I want to start out by saying that, again, thank you guys so much. I got a ton of comments that keep coming in, and I appreciate all of them. I really do. I actually read every single one of your comments. I'll go through and look at all the ones I haven't responded. I try to respond in some kind of way or click like. But your guys' love that's been pouring in has been amazing, and it's really kept me motivated. So today, let's talk about today. Oh, and by the way, if this latest batch of comments, um, I I saw quite a few comments and I just haven't got to them yet. Okay, so I will. I promise you. But so the latest deal with today is I'm gonna go through a little bit of what I experienced, which is again normal energy. Okay. I had a good even keel amount of energy, nothing too bad. I was a little tired in the afternoon, but more of like I want to separate being tired, you know, as in like wanting to take a nap tired or as in body tired. And I just want to take a nap. Like, I don't always get 6, 7, 8 hours sleep. But this morning I had some really good deep sleep going on until somehow a stupid fly got in the bedroom and was like dive bombing me and pissing me off. It was like waking me up. So I was like, God, I was in such a good deep sleep, or just I just felt good. So I got up. But then later on in the afternoon, I was a little tired, like around that 4 or 5 o'clock. I was getting that kind of nap type feeling. But my body wise, I had energy. So even when after that period of wanting to take a nap, even after that period, I was able to, continue on, go into the grocery store, get groceries, and go home, start cooking, all these things. Um, so so yeah. So as far as like, oh yeah, like as far as getting steak, right? So I know that I had some steak from when I had that company event not that long ago. Remember? So I had that small piece of steak, or it was like two pieces, two small pieces, and it was very tender, very good. But um, this was my first time actually being able to buy a steak, and I was at the grocery store trying to buy stuff for dinner, and I found a 3 pack of New York strips because ribeyes were still really expensive. They had some really thin ones that were, but the price to pay for those, I'd have rather had the thicker cut the thicker cut strips. So I got the strips and three of them, one for myself, one for my son, and one for my wife. And of course, I bought them a baked potato and a little bit of broccoli to come home and steam. So I made them some steamed broccoli and a baked potato with theirs. Mine, I just had uh, my New York strip along with 2 eggs. So I had some steak and eggs tonight. So I was pretty happy. And let me tell you, my I was telling you guys before this, but um my cooking, right? My steak game and my cooking overall in the last few years I took it to another level, which is another reason why a lot of people didn't believe that I would do the carnivore thing because of how much I've been like how much cooking and how good I've been elevating my game like for just a home guy, home chef. But my steak, I've been making like top-notch steakhouse steaks for a while, even before carnivore. So that's one thing when I finally got my steak, oh, I made it so good. And I think that's a huge thing. Hey, Grateful Keto, it's good to see you pop in. Um, also just got a deal on strip loins. I'm gonna move this over so I'm not constantly there we go. I had it on my other screen, so I was like having to look over here. But all right, here we go. I moved that over there. I moved the chat over there. So yeah, I just had a great deal of strip ones. Yeah. But yeah, the New York strips is was one of my favorites. My wife always liked the ribeye. And but anyways, but the strip again, we had a deal on them. So I want to say I got those three. They were pretty good sized steaks, and they were like $27 or something like that, which for three strips for three good premium steaks, hey, I'll take it. so so yeah, so we got to have some New York strip. So happy about that. And like I said, I cooked mine. Now mine was just salt. But man, let me tell you, when you if you cook your steak right, if you just get and if listen, if you're a carnivore or keto and you like steak, and if you're just kind of like, "Man, I just don't know how to make a good steak," if you're unsure of how to make a good steak, let me know because I'm going to tell you a couple tips right now. It changes your game. I'm telling you. For years I didn't cook steak real well. Like I did okay. Sometimes it come out really good. Sometimes I got lucky. I didn't really have a good technique. So with carnivore, if one of your primary, food sources is steak, then you're going to want to know how to make a good steak. So first of all, what I would tell you, this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to run through this for you real quick. That way you don't have to sit there and try to message me and all this stuff. But so come home, take your steak, and what I do is I will take like we got these cutting boards and things like I got some like they're like the really thin plastic disposable ones. I like to use them as like kitchen mats, and I'll just put my raw steaks on there, and then I'll heavily salt them like a pretty good amount. And I use coarse salt. In this case, I use the Himalayan pink salt. So I salted them pretty generously on each side, and then for my wife and sons, I did black pepper and garlic. I flip them over, salt, black pepper, garlic on both sides. And I let them sit there as I do the rest of my dinner prep. And then what I do is I take a pan. Okay. Now I cook steaks one at a time. When it comes to steaks, I actually will serve my family as I get them done. So I'll have like one person's baked potato and broccoli and steak all ready to go. Boom, serve them. Another person, I'll make it and serve them like it'll be kind of like back to back, and then mine's last. So one of the secrets is getting that pan nice and hot. Now, if you don't have, I don't have it on me. If you don't have a laser thermometer, they're really cheap. They're like $15 on Amazon. It's just a laser gun thing, and you can aim that laser right in your pan. But you want to get your pan a good 350 degrees. Now, I used a non-stick pan. I have stainless steel pans, but for this, I used one of my non-stick pans, and I got it up to like 350 degrees. No oil, no butter, nothing. And I laid that steak in there, and you want to sear it. Just don't touch it. Don't touch it. Have that pan nice and hot, 350 degrees at least. Lay that in there and put a timer, 3 minutes. Do not touch it. Flip it over, 3 minutes. Sear the other side. Do not touch it. Now, you should see when you flip it over after that 3 minutes, you should have a nice looking sear already on that one side. You flip it over, you get a nice looking sear there. And when you flip it over that second time, after that 3 minutes, take your tongs and turn that steak on its side. Now we're talking about a strip. Now different steaks, but if you have a strip, it's got that fat that runs along the one side of the steak. Well, you're going to flip that up and you're going to either hold it or kind of lean it up against the pan. But I try to hold it, and you just want to sit there and sear that fat. You want to render that fat for about a good minute to 2 minutes, maybe. It's up to you. You just get that good sear. Let's sit there and cook that side, and then you put it on the other side, whatever side you started with, and you flip it over. And this is where, at this point, I like to add some pats of butter on top of the steak. Okay, you can do a little more garlic if you want, but at this point, I like to do the butter. And of course, in the fancy places, they would do a little bit of fresh thyme in here as well. But we're just going to do butter. And so I would melt a couple more pats of butter on top of the steak, flip it over maybe one more time after a minute or so. And this is where you're going to start temping your steak. Now, it's all going to depend on what you want for your steaks. So I would recommend looking up the temperature. If you want something that's going to be juicy, maybe light pink in the middle, I usually will pull it off there around 130, 135. It's going to raise up in temperature, so it'll actually come out more like a medium well, which is like my wife. She likes it where it's a little pink in the middle. It's still not tough, it's not chewy. But if you like medium, which is, if you're a carnivore or you go to a fancy steakhouse, a lot of them are medium where they're a little more red in the middle. And that's going to be more, you're going to probably stop around 130 with temperature, pull it off. And then same thing, if you want it a little more rare, like a medium rare, you stop around 120, almost to 125, pull it off because they're going to increase in temperature another 5 degrees while they're resting. But take them off, set them on like I use a tray lined with tinfoil. That way I can just dispose of the tinfoil and I don't have to clean the tray. So, but put them on your tray, put another aluminum sheet over top of them, just let them rest for like 5 minutes as you plate up the stuff. But that's the steaks are simple, but if you do it right, it is going to be a top tier steak. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be everything you want in a steak. It's going to have that awesome seared outside. It's going to have that saltiness, that butteriness. If you do the pepper and the garlic, you're going to get that little bit of subtle heat and a little bit of that garlic. So, but Grateful Keto says sometimes the fats on steaks taste delicious and sometimes it tastes yucky. Don't know why. So this is a good point. And this is something I was going to talk about actually. So good job. So this is what I wanted to talk about, like steaks versus ground beef. So I've been eating ground beef now for like, as you guys seen, a lot of my days, right? With the exception of some chicken and, a little bit here and there, but I've been eating a lot of ground beef. Ground beef is good. It's going to be a staple of a low budget. So I'm at a low budget. But man, I got to tell you, if you can do a steak each night, like some people, they can afford to do a steak each night. If you can do a steak each night, that's the way to go. It really is. Now, another tip, and I haven't tried this yet, but another tip is chuck steak. Okay. So if you go to the store and you can find some chuck steak, now sometimes, like I found tonight, they had some chuck steak. It was like about a 2-pound steak for like $15. So my steak tonight cost me like $9. So if you cut that chuck in half and you have like a pound each, basically, if you make it a 1-pound chuck steak and another pound chuck steak, you're talking obviously like $7.50. So you will save a little bit of money. If you do chuck steak, I heard that somebody lost like 100 pounds just eating chuck steak. So hey, I mean, I haven't tried it yet. I thought about, in fact, that's why I went to the store to see if I could get what the deal was on chuck steak. Well, the chuck steak, again, it was like $15. And the thing is, I needed to feed 3 people. I could have divided the 2 pounds up, but do I have like, it looks like I had like glitter on my lip. Who knows in this house? Got my coffee, by the way. I'm going to enjoy a sip of that while I'm live. So, so yeah, the steak, I think that's, it's so good. It's just so much better than ground beef. But of course, I like ground beef and I can work with it and I'm going to work with it. I've been seeing in my comments a lot about LMNT. I know that, or element. I know that it's a huge thing among the people in the carnivore and keto world to get more nutrients. Um, I personally, I'm not against it, or I don't know. Right now, I just been taking the magnesium at night. But I really feel like I guess I'm kind of leaning more toward like the Anthony Chafee stable, where it's more of like that meat. Like you're gonna get all your nutrients in that meat, and all your essential vitamins and minerals, and like I said. So I don't know. Like I said, element or the element LMNT. If you guys want to do that, I mean, I would say if you feel like you need to do it, right? I probably won't do it. Like I said, I've had a lot of suggestions on different things, and I'm considering quite a few of them. But I just right now, because of the diet being so simple, I'm keeping I'm keeping everything pretty simple. Um, I do want to talk about real quick. I want to keep this live fairly short. I don't want to overstay my welcome, but um, I would say that I've also had some people messaging me about starting carnivore and they weren't really sure. Now, I'm flattered that they would ask me. I'm just a small, I'm just a beginner, much like most of them now. However, like I do feel like I have an advantage that I've been researching and watching videos, and I have done it last year for 2 months, and all the research I've been doing over the last 2 years. So I do know a lot. I am pretty knowledgeable about things. But I was asked about starting carnivore, and I will say that the BBB and E is definitely it's definitely the way to go. But if you have never done carnivore, I hit my microphone. Sorry. If you've never done microphone, if you've never done carnivore, if you've never even done keto, if you're just like was coming from straight up junk and garbage, you may want to go keto for 2 weeks at least. That's what I did last year. I did keto for 2 weeks and then went pretty much into carnivore. And then I did that for like 6 weeks. That's kind of my best advice as far as what all you can eat and how to manage your keto diet. I'm not good at telling you that. Maybe somebody like Grateful Keto in the comments, maybe they can tell you better. I don't know. But for me, I just know that I did the keto for 2 weeks. It was a good transition for me. It kind of helped me ease into some things. And then I just was like, all right, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for carnivore now. And I went for it. And like I said, when you go carnivore, BBB and the triple B and E is probably the best way to go. You want to stick to as close to that as you can for the first 90 days. And then after that, if you want to start adding back in certain things, I'd say, yeah, go ahead and do it. Add back some things. Um, but take it slowly when you add back things. Because a lot of people are like, they start getting those in their mind, like, oh, I can't wait for the 90 days because I'm gonna go back to having a cheat day. I'm gonna have like my pizza once on Sundays and this and that. Louise Kelly, hey, how are you? Says, hi, Josh. Hope you're doing well. I felt kind of crappy last night. I was holding too much fluid and made my neuropathy in my feet hurt. Too much salt, I guess. So, Louise, are you doing? I think you said you're doing carnivore, right? Are you? How are you getting too much salt? I'm wondering because salt is not necessarily a bad thing if you're carnivore. Now, if you are you are you using like a Himalayan salt or a like a Redmond salt, or are you using sort of normal table salt? Because that's also another thing. So yes and yes. So you are using like a Himalayan pink salt. Um, like if you don't mind me asking, what is your kind of average daily meals? Are they like what is your level of carnivore basically? So I look at I see these different levels, right? And The extreme levels are like the lion diet, where it's just meat, water, and salt, and then of course the BBB and E, and then of course if you go up another level from there, you're probably talking like, not maybe up a level, maybe down a level, where you add in like your heavy cream and cheese. Um, so, are you taking in any dairy at all, Louise, or is it just meat? Are you meat, bacon, and eggs? Because I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying I know that salt, for the most part, is not bad for you. If you're having just normal salt, if you're eating carnivore, then things should regulate. If you're still holding on the fluid, there may be something else. Because that is one thing I want to stress is that a lot of people put emphasis on carnivore as a cure all. I will say this: I think out of all the years and all the stories I heard, yes, it does reverse a lot of medical problems, but I would not necessarily say that it's a cure all. So that's something to keep in mind. There may be something else going on. Two bacon, two eggs, one steak, boiled egg, some cheese, a little heavy cream, my coffee, bone broth with salt also. So you're almost probably eating just as much or maybe a hair more variety than I am. Um and you may want to look at reducing some of that, like, or maybe put more emphasis on the meat. So it is the proper human diet. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Shaz, hey, thank you for the good luck. Appreciate you for popping in and saying something. um, but yeah, like I said, I'm no doctor, and you may, if you have a regular doctor or something that, and you're still retaining that fluid, and you may have to look at even dropping the cheese more. That's what I had to do too. I'm dropping cheese a lot more. And I love cheese. I love cheese. But I'm trying to drop it more. I'm trying to stay away from as much cheese as I can. Um I'm on a journey on my own down from 310 to 260. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And honestly, Shas, I really hope you do well. I hope I'm not sure how tall you are, but you know, I hope you reach your goal weight. I'm 5'6", so my technically they're saying that I should be, and I guess for my age I should be probably 160 to 170, but I'm not close to that right now. I'm still over 100 pounds from that. But I will say that if I could get down, if I could ever see that two just go down to one, I'd be happy with like 199. Like if I could roll that two to a one, that would be awesome. So 5'8" or 5'9". So, roughly I would say you're probably going to want to, I'm sure you probably want to get down to about 200, huh? I bet 200 you probably would look amazing. You probably look amazing at 260 for 5'8", 5'9". So, uh I do have kidney disease, so maybe that's why. And that's the thing. It may take some time with carnivore diet because I know there's a lot of things that do get reversed, Louise. So that could be too. It just may take some time for your body to work it. Because didn't you just start, Louise? Didn't you tell me you just started? Let's see. I felt skinny when I was 170 and I'm 5'8". Yeah, I mean, you know, 170 at 5'8". Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good size. I mean, that's a good normal looking weight, I would say. Uh, that would be awesome to see 199 on the scale. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like for me, like I said, I probably should be more like 160, but realistically, if I could just get down there, man, because oh my god. Okay, so you're on day 19. So you're a little bit behind. So yeah, Louise, I would say in all honesty, you're gonna want to give things time. Like it's hard, I know, because like I'm not patient. I'm not a very patient person. So for me, it's like, oh, I hear all these stories and people, and when I hear somebody say, I did like carnivore diet and for like 3 months and I lost like 70 pounds. And I'm like, 3 months? That's not very much. And then here I am, like going on to the last week of my first month. And I'm like, God, I mean, I lost weight, but I don't feel like I lost like a ton of weight. But then I look at it, I'm like, well, I mean, technically I did lose 17 pounds so far. And if you multiply that by three, just if I kept some kind of pace like that, I mean that'd be close to like 60 pounds, right? So, it's possible. Um, I got a wide frame so I can fill it out with a bit more muscle. Yeah, and see that's what I'm saying. Like I got that kind of like stocky frame. So that's why I said for me, if I can get down to that lower 200s, like anywhere from like 200 to 210, I'm going to look a lot better for sure. I'm going to feel and look amazing. And I want to say I haven't been down to like 210 in almost 20 years. Yeah. So if I get down there, yeah. um so that would be awesome. But yeah, my ultimate goal, yeah, long term goal is to see if I can even get close to 200. But I'm trying not to think of the long term goals because then it's like it makes my normal progress now feel like a turtle, like it's just a snail crawl. Uh, you're gonna be a beast. That dad straight. That's right, a dad straight. Uh, I'm sticking with it. I will reduce the cheese, and today I cut back on the salt. Yeah, I mean, you probably could. It just depends. I don't know how much you're salting your stuff. You know, I want to salt my food, but yeah, I mean, I would say like, and once I personally think that once your body starts getting used to things, because again, you're in day 19, I'm only in day 23, and I know my body's still trying to adjust. It's going to take time. That's why even Dr. Ken Berry said that do 90 days, not 30, not 60, but 90, because it's going to take, there's different changes going to happen along the way. So yeah, I love salt too much. I know. Me too. 3 months in, I'm still trying to figure out why I ache so much. I don't have dairy except for butter, so I don't know why in January. I will do lion diet and see if that helps. Um, yeah, I mean, I would say too, if you're still having aches, are you still uh keto? Are you still, I mean, like, are you still overweight? Do you still have a ways to go in your goals? Or because again, remember, like, there's there's a couple different types of achiness, right? There's the achiness when you get done with eating bad foods and you get this like feverish kind of achiness sometimes. It's what I call regret, right? It's like the living regret is that feeling. But then I also have some still aches and pains from just being overweight still, like my knees and my back and things like that. Um, so I'm just wondering, keto, if it's still your body, because you got to remember your body, your physiology as you lose weight, your center of gravity will also shift, which means your body has to make minor corrections. That why do you think fat people and even when you're losing weight, why you stumble a lot more? When I was thinner and more spry, I could run around, do balance beams. I had a great sense of balance. But as you gain weight, your body, your center of gravity, starts to shift. So your body starts to compensate. So again, same thing as you lose weight, but that's why you're a lot more unstable as you're on your feet. The bigger you get and things like that. It's not just because of the weight; it's because of that center of gravity. And not a lot of people think about that. They don't really think about their center of gravity shifting as they lose weight. Your body, so again, your physiology is changing to you losing weight and getting in shape. So those type of aches and pains, I feel like they're going to be there for a while. I think those will stabilize once you finally hit your goal weight and you're more of like in a maintenance thing. And your body will just adjust, and that will be your normal, and you will feel normal fully in that sense. That's my opinion. So need to lose 40, 50 pounds. My legs ache at night where I can't sleep. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's but as you lose weight, you should get better. The more you lose weight, the better you should feel. And again, carnivore is not a fix all. You know, it's not going to solve everybody's medical problems, but our diet gives us like it makes us have so many other problems, right? So we end up having a ton of other issues from a bad diet. And when you change that, now you're reversing things, and now your body is having to relearn things and it's trying to reverse things, it's trying to repair things. Some things may not be very easily reversed, right? So it's gonna take a long time. I got myself in this bad shape over many these last couple decades, really, to be honest with you. I've been yo-yoing up and down, but overall, the roller coaster's been going up gradually, right? Even though I'm up and down, it's still going up. Now it's finally going to start roller coastering down, hopefully, or just down. you know, um, one thing I've noticed as a result of being in a caloric deficit for so long is I get physically cold more often and more susceptible to the common cold. Hmm. Shas, are you on a regular standard diet, or are you doing like a keto or carnivore, or what type of diet are you doing? But also, I will say that, you know, I know from the past, like when I was losing weight, when the last time I lost a big chunk of weight, like 40 pounds, I too would feel colder at night and stuff, especially winter would come around, like, oh well, I'm shedding my winter coat. So but yeah, you are gonna lose some insulation. When you lose fat, you're losing insulation. You know, that's for sure. But as far as getting sick, let's see, grateful, my legs hurt back. Oh, grateful keto. Louise said, my legs hurt back last year. My heart doctor cleaned my arteries in the legs because I had 80% blockage in them. I sure hope carnivore is a fix all. Don't want to see a doctor about this. Yeah, and that's the thing. I, again, I don't know if it's going to be a fix all. It seems to fix a lot of things. So all I can say is carnivore or even keto is closer to a proper human diet, um, if you do the right research. And there's so many health benefits, and it will work. But everybody's going to be a little different. So you may have a certain individual that they go on carnivore and they feel right as rain from after 2 or 3 days, and they feel good and they just keep on going. That's closer to me. I mean, I've been feeling really good, but I still have some of my moments with my overweightness, right? Um, and some people, again, you're going to have some chronic issues that's going to take even longer to fix, and a longer term. But you have to look at it. What's going to get you to that goal better, fat, or what's going to get you in that end goal? Is it going to be eating garbage and then still trying to take medicines and all kinds of stuff to fix what you have wrong, or eating a good diet and getting to that, still trying to figure what's wrong? Either way, you still have that two paths of eat bad, eat good. But if I'm going to fix a problem like something in my legs or a problem, I want to at least eat good on the way there. Now that way I can just rule out a bunch of things. you know I mean, I've heard of people, even cancer coming down 70, 80% in somebody just from switching to carnivore diets. So there's a lot of power in what you eat. So I've tried every diet under the sun, and what worked for me is one meal a day, 80% proteins and 20% fluff. Excuse me. A little steak in my tooth. I always have this one spot in my teeth where it's just because I got bad teeth. I mean, they look okay probably on camera, but I, you can see I'm missing a tooth. back there, and I also behind that, the one in the back is broke, so I've got to get that fixed. So I can't really chew much on this side of my mouth. So everything I chew is over here, and then and I got the spot over here where steak likes to get in there or meat or whatever. So I've got to work that out all the time. Again, a lovely byproduct of eating crappy diets and sugar and all kinds of shit. uh, but yeah, well, I don't think carnivore will magically regrow my teeth, but I did hear. I try to look at normal people, right? I try not to look at what other people. I do look at what some of the doctors say and things like that, but I do try to look at real testimonials. Actual people and what happened to them. And I know there was one guy that was talking about his teeth were after a year of carnivore, he stopped having like gingivitis and like he stopped having like a bunch of issues. Now I don't know about any teeth regrowing or anything like that, but I know it did actually help because once you stop eating all that sugar and all that stuff, it really helps your teeth. Um, when when he did the heart cath, he went up the scope and opened them up and put my stent in my knee. Crazy what happens when you get proper nutrition and you chew on your meat. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I also look at the fact that I would rather do something that like this is something that works for me. You know, um, carnivore is not something I ever expected. I I when I first came across, I was I was doing some research on diets, and I kept hearing everybody talk about keto a lot. And well, actually, I think the keto phase had already passed, but there was still a lot of talk about it. And when I say phase, I mean I'm talking like when it was like the big craze and everybody was talking about keto. You know what I mean? But but in all honesty, when I first I decided, you know what, let me look into this keto. This was kind of like after everything had sort of settled down. And I said, let me look into it. And I just started doing a ton of research. This was like well over a year ago. Like I said, this is almost probably 2 years ago. And I started doing a ton of research, ton of research. And I'm like, okay, a lot of this makes sense. And of course, along with that was fasting. So I learned a lot about fasting and the benefits of fasting and then the combination of fasting and something like a keto or something. And I was like, okay, this is making more sense now. And then along with all the keto videos started coming in carnivore videos. So I started researching that as well. And then they were talking about the lab results, actual blood results from people doing carnivore. And I just started seeing so many testimonials. So many testimonials. I mean, I can't tell you how many people, and even now that I started doing my vlog here, my daily diary, you guys have been like amazing at sharing all your stories, and I hear so many good things all just on my little channel. But when I was researching these people, I don't just watch the videos. I also go in the comments and I see what people are saying. And you get it's just a ton of people. So I said, man, this carnivore, there's got to be something to it, maybe. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of nerd, but it all made sense once I started to really educate myself and learn the science behind your cholesterol, all your LDL stuff, and how cholesterol is actually good for you and all these things. Once you start learning, the proper science behind everything, things start actually making sense versus what we were always taught. And there always seemed to be these loopholes. And it always seemed like, well, if this is how we're supposed to be, I'm like, and I always thought, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I can't follow an standard diet because I'm always hungry or I just can't seem to stick to it. So, when I did keto for that first 2 weeks, I started feeling a lot better. I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, yeah." I was like, "Maybe I do need to ramp it up to carnivore." And so I did. I just committed to carnivore, and then for the next 6 weeks, I mean, I was like, and by the time I was like, almost to the end of that 2 months, I probably felt like I was in my 20s again. It was amazing. It was amazing. I really do. And now I'm looking forward to hopefully getting back to that, except now I'm even heavier a year later trying to do that. So, all right. So let me see. Crazy. Let's see. I can't wait to live a life of good meat, raw dairy, raw honey, spring water without the microplastics. Yeah. You know, and is there anything else you're doing with the raw honey? Are you getting the are you getting the special honey that's got also got the what is it like? It's supposed to be like a lot of the raw honeys, at least in America, the raw honeys are that are unfiltered raw honey, they're still have that one chemical in it from the surrounding farms in the areas. And anyways, I was just asking out of curiosity if because I know there is a few honeys you can get that are that chemical free as well. I can't remember, but it's not often. So um my lipid panel is excellent except for my LDL. So doc suggested statins. See, and that's the thing is your LDL levels, the only reason why that they're considered high is because that's what they set the bar at, right? So if your LDL is here and the American Medical Association or whoever sets the bar, here, then now you're too high. But if the proper human diet levels here, then you're fine, right? That's the thing. The only ones that say LDL is bad, and then of course the science behind the LDL stuff, if you really get into it, like them setting the bar down here doesn't make sense. And not only that, it makes sense if you realize they're trying to push statins. They're trying to push pharma. Doctors and big pharma have a major relationship. I know firsthand because, well, maybe secondhand, because my buddy was a big pharma rep. He made a ton of money. He had a gorgeous house. He made a ton of money, but he knew how to wine and dine doctors. He had a nurse for a wife. He knew how to wine and dine doctors. He would do these luncheons for them, and he made sales. Let me tell you, the big pharma and those doctors, man, they will push those products because they get commissions. They make money. So doctors are not, susceptible to it's just like YouTubers and how every YouTuber out there you see is like Raid Shadow Legends or something, or they're sponsored by some of the same things. Carnivore, the diet community, you see a ton of people with the LMNT, and I'm not saying they're bad things. I'm just saying you just see those things. Well, doctors, they're going to be sponsored by Viagra or statins or whoever it is, whatever they want to push. And so they're going to find those opportunities. And if they have to lower that bar a little bit for the LDL, guess what? They're going to lower that bar. So, um, but Dr. Berry calls honey bee vomit. I cracked up when he said that. Well, technically, it is true in that sense. But yeah, ideally, raw honey should be 67 miles away from pesticides. Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad. It sounds like that you've been looking into those things and educating yourself. So I'm glad to see that, Shaz. Seriously. Anytime you do any diet, you should and I tell people all the time, you should always, always educate yourself. And one of the things that I think is funny is that if you look at, I mean, how many times do you get a doctor or somebody saying, like, if they really believed in their diet? So let me just put this example out there, just to put it in perspective. Let's say the standard human diet, right? The one that the government food pyramid, the one that the well balanced diet with vegetables and fruit and a little bit of meat and a little bit of saturated fat or something. Let's say you do this balanced diet, or if a doctor was to commit, if he believed in that so much and he was like, that's the way to go, that's the right way to eat, and if he committed to that, then he should he should have you take a blood panel before, have you do that. He should be able to tell you this is what you can eat, and then in 90 days take another blood panel. And what a lot of times what will happen if you do get something like that is you'll get a doctor that'll say, go home, eat healthy. They're not going to tell you exactly how to do it, right? Because they're not nutrition experts. They don't go to class for nutrition. A lot of people think just because you're a doctor, you know all these things. No, you learn general medicine and then you specialize in other parts of the body. That's why we have specialists. So they don't always know nutrition. They know the basics, they know how science works, but nutrition itself, there's specialists for that. They're nutritionists, right? But anyways, but a lot of times they say go home, eat this, diet, exercise, come back in 90 days, and then they check it. Guess what? They're going to put you on a statin. That's what the next move. That's the classic move every time. But you take somebody like a Dr. Barry who says, okay, I'll tell you what, you take panels, you go and eat BBB and E for 90 days and take another panel. He's not selling you anything. He's not telling you, hey, I'm going to go sell you on a statin or whatever. He's just telling you this is what's going to work. Check it for yourself. Check the panels for yourself. So what does that tell you about the diet? Right? So, but yeah, education is important. Um, Studies that appear out of thin air by government funding. Yeah, and a lot of studies too, Shas, is that a lot of these big companies, these Procter and Gambles and Kraft, and all of these food companies that are behind all the seed oils, Crisco, all these food products. They will do their own studies, and a lot of times these studies they're not going to come back and say, "Oh yeah, eating canola oil is good for you." What they're going to do is they're gonna skim through it because they don't have to publish the whole thing to the public. So what they'll do is they'll say, "Hey, canola oil is better than vegetable oil," and that's going to be their marketing. They'll be like, "Hey, your vegetable oil it causes these problems, even though theirs does too." But they're going to say, "Hey, that vegetable oil causes these problems. Ours is better for you. It's been proven in this study." But it's like the one little thing out of all the other crap, right? So that's how they get you. They do these studies. They don't have to publish them, and of course, you got your government stuff too. Um, but again, there's no real true science behind a lot of things. And when they are trying to do some of these scientific things, they're not releasing the results because they're not favorable. And the industry is too big, right? The sugar industry, everything is these big, they're making billions and billions of dollars off of us being fat and unhealthy. It's true. They would rather keep us. I mean, think about the advancement of all this technological stuff. I mean, I can remember back in the days thinking, man, like, medical advancement, like we're going to, maybe we will live forever. Maybe we will. No, our lifespans are getting shorter, I think, because we got all these diabetes and overweight and obesity. We were following their advice. We were following the government food pyramid. We were following their things, and it just doesn't work. And then they just give us more pills. Anyways, starting to sound conspiratorial, but it's not. It's not. It's the truth. That's the thing. There's facts there. Dr. Mason, look it up. Dr. Mason does a lecture where he talks about the history of the food pyramid. It's great. He talks about the actual facts behind everything. It's awesome. I highly recommend that video. Let's see. My triglycerides are super high, and from what Dr. Brady said, some meds cause it, and I'm taking 2 of those meds. Well, and that's the problem. It's so hard to judge those things, and that's what I'm saying, Louise. You may even have maybe some of those meds could cause you to retain some of that fluid, where your salt levels. Remember, you're talking about your salt levels and fluid retention. It's possible. Again, I didn't know if what meds you were taking, but that's possible. So again, you may want to look into that. Well, can any of the meds you're taking cause fluid retention? I find the use of relative risk as a measure is a very deceptive. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and it always reminds me of like when you see all the commercials, like you know, uh, you see the commercial and you're like, for some kind of IBS or something for your stomach, or like, are you feeling kind of icky? And then like, of course, 90% of people are like, uh-huh, I feel kind of icky. And then they're like, well, try this Revs Bambera or something. And you're like, okay, look, ask your doctor. And they're like, or it may cause diarrhea, it may cause bloating, it may cause cancer, it may cause all kinds of crap. And you're like, what? Huh? What? It causes what? May cause what? Diarrhea, loose stool, cancer, what? But they always throw in the fine print, you know what I mean? And that's like they do it on everything because it's these drugs. Like I said, it's not natural. They're giving you drugs. For millions of years, the human has survived without drugs. And we've found ways to heal ourselves. Yes, we use plants to heal ourselves, but plants are used for specific purpose, not for regularly eating. One is furosemide is a fluid pill. Oh, I don't know. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. So, Shas, I watched a video just today on raw milk. The people in the video who drinking the raw milk were big and strong men. So I love milk. Okay, I have given it up except for heavy cream. My heavy cream is in my coffee. I got some heavy cream in my coffee. Milk. I saw a funny video. I didn't get to watch it all. I want to go back and finish watching it. But I believe it's Dr. Ken Berry who talks about milk. And it's like he points out there's like no other mammals other than us in the world that goes to another animal for their milk or takes their milk. Okay. If another animal goes to another animal, it's usually for eating the meat or whatever. But it's just funny how he talks about the milk. And of course, milk is for a cow, for a calf. It's not for human adults, it's for a calf. So the calf, think about a calf, they get big very quick in a short amount of time. You see a calf, if you ever drive by farms, you see a calf, and then the next day you drive by, the thing's full size. Okay, I mean, I'm exaggerating. It's not the next day, but you know what I mean. They go quick. If you ever been around farms, calves get big. Why? Because of the stuff in the milk. And then we drink the milk and we get big. But you can work out. Yeah, I mean, you can use it as workout. It's got proteins. It's got things that, there's a lot of bodybuilders that will use chocolate milk as a recovery drink or milk, things like that. So it makes sense. It's almost as if animals were made to serve us. We take care of them and they take care of us. Well, look, I try not to talk too much about religion. Okay. I myself, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't preach that among anybody. That's just my own personal beliefs. I don't mind putting it out there. But I will say that God gave us these animals for us. He specifically said in the Bible, these animals were for us to eat. They were provided. Now that doesn't mean we disrespect them. We don't treat them poorly. I mean, there should be respect to the animals. But it's a triangle. You got to think about, like, people start getting offended by eating animals sometimes. But you got to remember, if society was over today, think about it. If society was over today, okay, and you're out there in the middle of nowhere, no buildings, no old. We're not talking about post-apocalyptic supermarkets. I'm talking about you're in the middle of the woods, ain't nothing around for miles. Things are gone, and you're just back to being pretty much a caveman. What are you going to do to survive? Because I guarantee if you start eating plants and you start picking plants out of the ground and try to boil them and stuff, you're probably going to make yourself a poisonous tea, and you're going to have diarrhea. You're going to die of either dehydration, starvation, or malnutrition or poisoning. Okay. You're going to hunt something and you're going to kill it. You're going to eat it and it's going to make you feel amazing. It's been proven. People that's been in the wild. And that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. It's an instinct. It's who we are, right? It's who we are as a person, as a human being. We love meat. We love salt. We love these things. This is our instinct. This is who we've been, like this for millions of years. Okay. So animals, yes, they are there. They're there from God to help us out. This is part of that evolutionary balance. And if we were in the wild and something killed us, guess what? It would have a right to eat us because it was bigger on the food chain. Like maybe a bear or something, right? If we're out in the wild and we can't defend ourselves and a bear kills us, hey, it gets to eat us, right? Why not? I mean, it's part of the food chain. Nobody's going to cry to the bear and be like, "Hey, that's you're killing humans. That's you. That's wrong. You should be eating grass." Oh, imagine making a bear a vegetarian. You know? I'm not saying that bears don't eat nothing but meat. I'm just saying they love fish and stuff. But they love fish. They love salmon. But well, see, I got off on some tangent there. I was talking, so it's hard. It is a hard juxtaposition that we love animals and yet we eat them. Yeah, I mean, we love the cute animals, right? We always want to save the cute animals, right? Comes with the dog, the cute little fluffy dog. We got our cats, do little cat videos. We got the sea otters, their cute little hands, swimming around, doing cute little things. But when it comes to a cow, we're like, hey, get in the fucking truck, all right? Get in there. But I'm a cow. No, you're dinner. All right, you're a steak. You're a porterhouse. Get in there. So yeah, we have our moments for sure. Um, but hey, like I said, we have to have some kind of life cycle, right? Again, it's not natural to create our own foods and then say this is good, this is healthy. It's not. That's why your body rejects the things. That's why we have these problems with our body. It's your body rejecting these things. It's good to hear you're religious. You definitely seem more religious than in the self-improvement community. Is the discipline and divine responsibility that drives us to be better. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I feel bad sometimes. Like and again, I don't like to talk too much on it. I try to be there for everybody on an equal basis, but as far as like with religion goes, I feel bad. I feel kind of bad that I messed up, God's temple, like right, like our body. You know, we have this great, unique gift that was given to us, and we have this body, and I abused it, and now I'm suffering for it. So, but I'm trying to make it better. So, I'm trying to make amends for my sins, right? Trying to atone. So, yes, the cows eat grass. I eat cow. Perfect life cycle. I mean, and that's how it is. That's the circle of life, right? Lion King, the circle of life. Okay, anyways, I can't do Elton John. All right, I was raised on a dairy farm. We had Holstons at first. They are large and dumb. We switched to Jerseys, and they are real pets, intelligent and cute. Yeah, I mean, it always sucks when you make a friend out of your dinner. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Uh it's like I see people they have like pigs for friends and all kinds of stuff. And I get it. Like I said, they're cute. There's nothing wrong. But at the end of the day, we have to have nutrition. We have to have it. We have to. Again, if you take away society and people say, well, that's the thing. We live in a modern society. We live in a day and age when we have science. Well, science cannot replace biology. Like science can't replace the true biology of God with these nutritious animals. You can't put it in a pill. You can't do that. They've been trying to fake all this stuff and it's not. And the side effects is your body saying, I reject this and I'm going to be bloated. I'm going to have diarrhea. I'm going to all these things. I'm going to feel crappy. I'm going to get cancer, whatever it is. Your body is just rejecting these all this garbage. But anyways, guys, it has been a great live event. I hope you guys like this. I may try to go live every once in a while, maybe once a month or something if you guys want. I'll try to do more lives if you guys want to get come on here and talk carnivore and or just whatever. And I'm glad you guys got to fill me in on how you're doing. You can't 3D print a cow yet. Exactly. Exactly. So, jerseys are still tasty. How old is everyone in the chat? Uh, yeah, I mean, so but yeah, guys, it's been a great episode. We just hit the 60-minute mark. I'm gonna try to keep this stream to that hour. But guys, thank you. Seriously, Shas, Grateful, Keto, Louise. I think you guys were the main three, I think, really, that was all in here chatting away tonight. If I missed anyone, I don't think I missed anybody. Um, but anyways, but thank you guys. Thank all three of you for coming in here. And again, thank you guys for all the support and love that I've been getting in my comment section. The support. I mean, I went just in this 3-day journey. You guys have, I just wanted this honestly. I just started this channel out. I already have other YouTube channels that I do other things with, and that's separate. But I started this as just that vlog. I just wanted to be able to have that vlog and just to hold myself accountable. I never expected to have many followers. I just kind of figured like, hey, I mean, I did damn sure didn't expect 100 and whatever I'm at now. I figured, maybe I'd, 5 or 10, I didn't really care. For me, it was like, I just wanted to have a vlog. But then when it was slowly building, and then when Rick Van Man shouted out my channel, and all of a sudden I got flooded with a bunch more people. I mean, it was really nice to get that much love and support, and I didn't even realize how much that would actually impact and help my journey to do it along with other people. I just figured, hey, I'll just do the vlog myself and whatever, whatever. But yeah, to have you guys along the ride and to share your stories and to even know that some of you are on different stages and going through the journey. And again, like Louise is a few days behind me. Grateful Keto, you've been doing what, 3 months, and Shas, you've been doing it for a while. You lost, what is it? What'd you say? You lost like 50 pounds or something. I think you lost. But no matter what, you guys are. Everybody's at a part in the journey, and that's what makes it a great thing is that we can all sort of share and help each other out along the way. So that's what's really cool. But yeah, but I appreciate it again. Thanks, Shas, and grateful Keto and Louise. And again, I from the bottom of my heart, seriously, I really want you guys to achieve your goals, and I'd love to be able to all of us one day, and to hear like, hey, I finally hit my goal, and I would love to be able to say that too to you guys, like, hey, I finally hit my goal, and Louise, like with all your medical problems, I'd love to hear you say, hey, my kidney problems have been getting better, and this and this. I would love to hear those things. So guys, keep up to date with me. Let me know when you hit some of your milestones along the way. But guys, thank you, and we will see you tomorrow. Because remember, this is daily video. But yeah, if you guys like me going live, hey, I'll try to include it every once in a while for you. Okay, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.